Let's jump to this story. This one's a good one. So we have this fact check from WTHR. Viral video of Biden saying he's reinstating the draft is a deepfake. In the video, President Joe Biden appears to say he's reinstating the draft so the U.S. can help defend Ukraine against Russian forces. The video is a deepfake. I love that this was fact-checked because it was made by Turning Point. It was on Jack Posobiec's show, and he outright says that it's not a real. Like he explains, we are showing you of what is to come, and it's meant to be provocative, and then the media is like, uh-oh, people might think this is real. All right, well, here's why I think this is worth talking about. Election season's coming up. We are going to see deep fakes, and they are going to improve at the speed of maximum economic investment.
And they're going to be hilarious.
Yeah, but some of them are going to be scary. But yeah, hilarious too. Like the one of Joe Biden and Trump playing Overwatch was one of the funniest.
They keep making them. There's one with Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson, and then Elon comes in. He's like, "You sons of bitches! I can't fight the boss."
The Overwatch one was just too good. Yeah, I saw that. No, but the Overwatch one was good. He was like, "Jesus Christ! I come in here try to get a quick cue, and it's Bidenator," and it's Trump saying it. But no, what I think we're going to see is how much money do they invest in presidential elections? It's got to be what? Billions? Billions. It was. I think Obama was $1 billion. So now imagine how much money is going to be on both sides for an election, especially with how crazy things are getting in this country. And they are going to be investing. People are going to invest tens of millions into advancing deepfake technology. I guarantee it right now. Some political person, I don't care what political party, saw this and they said, if we can make this impeccable, we will never lose another election again. And so they're meeting right now with deepfake companies saying, and I bet a lot of it is totally like seemingly on the level. Some guy who's got nefarious intentions goes to an AI company and says, hey, I want to invest $1 billion into the development of the technology. And they go, wow, that's really great. Thank you for the funding. And what they intend to do with it is make realistic videos that are indistinguishable. And so my fear is not that you will see a video go viral of Joe Biden reinstating the draft. Why? Well, people are going to be like, get out of here. He never did. It's a deepfake. But what they'll do is you'll have a real video of Donald Trump saying we should condemn them totally, referring to white supremacists and neo-Nazis. And what they'll do is they'll make an impeccable deepfake replica where he says, and some of them should be condemned totally. A very minor difference, but a drastic change in the context.
And then you run it on CNN, and then if they get caught, they're just like, we didn't know.
And not even, no, it's not even that. They're going to say, that's the video. And then Trump's going to sue and say, that is not what was said. Here's the actual report. And you're going to say, look, there's 12 different videos, all seemingly of the exact same thing. We don't know which one's the real one. Because everybody knows Trump gave the speech. Everybody knows Trump says something about condemning Nazis. But the only difference is they should be and some of them should be.
It's like a weapon. It's like a strike first kind of thing. Like the ethics of striking first is, beyond me. I don't like them.
What's going to happen is Democrats will share the video of Trump going, and I'm not talking about the white nationalists because some of them should be condemned totally. And they're going to go, he said some of them. Like he's implying there may be some good ones there and they're all going to share it and it's going to infect that bubble. And then you're going to get the right being like, no, he said they should be. He was talking about all of them. And there's going to be two different versions of one news event existing for both different political factions.
So it's going to be no different than it is now.
That's very different.
Right now. They're listening to the same thing and having
yes, but you can still. So I was at a family holiday event and I was talking about how China was potentially getting access to the DNA from COVID tests. And, one individual was like, what? Get out of here. That's BS. That's not true. You can't say that. And then I just pulled up my phone, pulled up NPR reporting it, and I handed it to them. And they read it and they went, oh, wow, I didn't know that. And I'm like, you're sitting here thinking I'm wrong about this. I was just citing NPR of all sources. What happens when they go, no, and they pull up a video and they show you the video and you go, that's not a real video. They'll say, you're a conspiracy theorist and you're lying. I have the video.
So what's the best way to authenticate those, though?
Impossible.
Deepfakes?
Yeah.
We were talking about that today in one of our development meetings. I don't know. I think it's going to have to be either the person verifies the video themselves, and if it's a video of you that you don't verify, then there's no verification.
I think it's going to be a lot easier to verify the real ones rather than sniffing out all the fake ones.
But then people like Project Veritas will try and catch someone, and they'll be like, no, I don't. That wasn't a real video. Yep. So you've got to be like, at some point. The other idea is to build like a headset or some sort of tech that you can use that can see that it's a deepfake somehow.
No.
That can tell if it's AI.
You got to understand the full sphere of what this means. A video will come out of, say, a guy at Pfizer saying something ridiculous like we're mutating the virus or who knows what.
Yeah.
And then what'll happen is a Veritas-like organization will say, here's a video of the guy saying they're mutating the virus. What they'll then do is they will make, using that video, another deepfake and say, yes, but here's the part they cut out. And then all of a sudden you'll see another video where the guy goes, could you imagine if like someone from these companies said something as crazy as we're mutating these viruses so that we can make more money? That would be insane. And then everyone will go, oh, Veritas cut the context out. He was talking about how crazy it would have been if someone did it. No, he didn't actually say it. Wow, that proves Veritas is lying. You see the point?
I could see that in other cases. In a case like Veritas, they have all the footage.
Yeah, but how do you prove a negative? If an organization, to defend itself, deep fakes your video, you can't prove the video doesn't exist. You can only prove a video does exist. So you'll get a video of Trump saying something like, we're going to build a big, beautiful wall. And then the left you'll get a combination of offensive and defensive deepfakes. The left will make a video where Trump is like saying something somewhat offensive to add context, making it seem like he's racist. And then to defend against it, the Republicans will add another bit where Trump is saying, can you believe what so-and-so said? He said this. And they'll just keep trying to change the context with deepfakes. Think about what happens if you get filmed and someone leaks audio of you saying something offensive. You can you can say, hey, that's out of context. That I wasn't actually saying.
Probably wasn't.
So if Ian came on the show and said, I don't like buttered popcorn, and that clip went viral, people would be like, wow, he doesn't like buttered popcorn. If Ian said, no, that's bad, he would just make a deepfake of him saying, I would never say something like, I don't like buttered popcorn. And that inverts the context. And that's what you can do with deepfakes too. It's going to be wild, man. $1 billion per campaign plus. And how much of that money can get invested in making stuff like this? Remember the meme wars in 2015, 16? Mm-hmm. Ramp it up, baby. Because you're going to get a combination of, you're going to get subliminal, liminal, and superliminal deepfakes. Superliminal deepfakes are going to be someone being like, and here's a new meme of Joe Biden singing the chicken song. And it'll just be Joe Biden. It'll be silly. Then you'll get stuff that are liminal. I'm doing air quotes, a Simpsons joke, that are more like what Jack Posobiec did, where it's some people might get confused by it, but he says what he's doing. And then the subliminal is when they just leak stuff and then don't say anything about it and people fall for it.
They should do one of Fetterman.
I mean,
that'd be cool.
But it would just be dead. It would be dead air.
Yeah, how would you?
He's not.
How
speaking.
would you know if they released a deep fake of Fetterman right now saying, "Look, here's your proof of life."
Exactly. And then what happens when? Get this. John Hodgkinson runs for Senate, and everyone sees videos of him standing at the podium cheering. Everybody sees interviews with him talking about his policies, and there is no John Hodgkinson. It's an AI deepfake character that appears in the media, that appears on YouTube, that does this campaigning, and you'll see people in YouTube and they're cheering for him. He'll have commercials where he says, vote for me, because I believe in making America great again. And then everyone's like, I'm going to vote for this guy. And he's not real.
I think you made a good point that if Fetterman had a deepfake, because when they deepfake Biden, it's obvious it's a deepfake a lot of times because you can't hear the imperfections, like you can't hear the degraded quality in his brain. And a lot of times when people
too perfect.
Yeah, and when people are singing with songs, if the machine builds it, you can kind of tell it's like robotically perfect. And so there's this imperfective quality to human behavior that possibly cannot be captured by a computer. If we could somehow perceive that.
In certain contexts, I at least agree with that, yeah.
I think it will be, though, and that's what's scary is I feel like the technology is evolving a lot quicker than we are. I feel like we're pretty dumb compared to what we've created. And that's where a lot of this chaos is coming from because we are not equipped or evolved to live in the world we created.
Those videos of like Gen Zers being like, why do I have to have a job? They are going to be the first in line to go into the pod. They're going to say, you're right about this. You shouldn't have to. Step into pod, where we will hook feeding tubes right into your gullet and then put the VR helmet on and you'll live in digital world where you can be whatever you want to identify as.
I thought you meant the suicide booth.
Well, that too.
They created that mentality by making it so miserable to live and survive for these kids. I mean, Gen Z gets a bad rap for being so nonchalant about it, but wouldn't you? You're never going to own anything. Most of them are not going to own houses or cars or anything. I don't really blame them.
They've been lied to about most things, and especially like the gender stuff. Like think about being a they them on hormones working at Starbucks and there are like 20 mobile orders. Like I wouldn't, and then you have like social anxiety disorder and stuff, and like
they all have disorders.
I mean, it's just like it's not an enviable position.
It's boring. I agree with that. But like look at people come back from the jungle after losing a leg. Like I don't see combat vets complaining and bitching about how hard life is.
Adrienne Curry says, "Send them to Ukraine."
I agree. That's the thing.
Send all the TikTokers to Ukraine.
Any one of these people who wants to wave Ukrainian flag and complain about what's going on, I say we send them right over. You know,
like it's hard. I do agree that life has become treacherously dull for people, especially being lied to about the military-industrial complex, and then realizing you're part of the empire is like, what the fuck am I doing?
I mean, the reason they wouldn't go to Ukraine is because they're like languishing the fact that they know that they're useless. Like that's they know that they would instantly die in a combat situation, and that's like demoralizing even worse.
Not Adam Kinzinger.
How much you want to bet
Winzinger,
that story of you will live in the pod, you will eat the bugs, you will own nothing, and you will be happy? They're probably going, please, it can't come soon enough.
They are. They are. I will tell you, Gen Z has that attitude. You know, I see a lot of the dialogue, especially when they're talking about, you know, if there was an apocalypse, they're saying, wow, you guys' will to live is incredible. I'd let it all happen. So I think these kids are severely depressed. I think they don't really have much purpose because we've hyper fixated on individualism in this narcissistic society. So these kids are just focusing on only themselves. And they have a meaningless life because they have no other purpose except themselves. So once we took away that community...
Not even themselves.
Yeah.
Well, the future's sounding pretty good, huh?
I imagine kids are like the ultimate purpose. Because I've been gaming a lot and just keep thinking, like, what is the freaking purpose of life? I keep rinsing and repeating the same thing. There's no goal. There's no, like, quest to finish. There's no experience gained. I don't get the ding when I do the thing. It's just nonstop.
It's the
keeps happening.
indomitable human spirit and, like, the drive to produce the next generation.
To do what though? Eat more candy bars and watch more TV? Like what?
Go to space.
That's what I'm going through. And I think having children is a big part. I haven't done it yet.
Go to space.
Go to Mars. I
just
go to Mars right
Keep
now.
pioneering.
Maybe it's different for everybody. Explorations for some people.
See, my dreams for the future cannot be accomplished in a single lifetime. You know, I am not driven by having a fancy car or an infinity pool. I'm driven at the thought of a spaceship traveling the galaxy with a bunch of people on it being like, you know, we're 17 light years away, sir. Engage warp. You know, that sounds pretty
What are
awesome
you going to find up there?
You know, rocks. You know, maybe
people will get bored of that too.
Like I've tripped my balls off and seen the craziest stuff and like experienced the most, bending reality. And it's still just like, now what? Like even while I'm tripping, I'm like, okay, the bug is dancing on my arm. What is this? All things will die, and I'm like crying.
Relationships are the only thing that really matters.
Yeah,
this doesn't sound like a good time, Ian.
Traveling to
the upside
space
and the downside of LSD.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.